Joining us now here in the studio is Brother Michael Perry from Siena College, who knows the new Pope firsthand.
Yeah, we got to start. Welcome, brother. But we have to start with that you know, and I'm not telling stories out of school here, I think, but you know him as Bob.
So Chicago is a place, Catholic Theological Union, a graduate school, and the second day that I arrived there, Bob is on the bus with 20 of us taking us around, introducing us to his home city of Chicago. So it was Bob, and I asked him, "Are you Robert?" He said, "No, I'm Bob."
I go by Bob.
Yes.
You were describing that interaction a little bit more in the newsroom when we first met you, and you talked about his demeanor and how he was quiet but deliberate.
Yeah, I would say those are two categories, really quiet, deliberative, but he was also had a sly sense of humor as well. So he would crack a joke after he'd say a few things. And he really was, I think the other thing about him, and I think we noticed it in the few years that I lived in school, he was someone who listened.
Important.
Which will serve him very well.
Oh, I think it'll be great, yes.
What do you view as some of the biggest challenges he will have to confront here early on?
I think he tried to convince people, gain the trust of everyone, that he's going to continue in the tradition of Pope Francis. The fact that he cited Pope Francis twice in his comments, the fact that he chose the name Leo XIV, it says that he's engaged. It's going to be someone who's going to be engaged with the world. Not someone who's going to try to pull back. He's going to be someone who wants to invite people into dialogue, and he used the word dialogue 3 times, and so I think it's indicative.
The significance of this being the first American Pope. I know the whole world shocked, celebrating here in America, of course, but talk about the significance of that.
Well, I think it's going to take a little while for us to absorb exactly what this means. He said right away, we've got to be about building bridges. So I think he's going to be someone who's going to want to promote dialogue. He's going to want to promote, encourage that people feel. He said that this is a place where everyone can come and be welcomed. He looked at the piazza and he said, look at the breadth of it. People coming from everywhere. He says everyone is welcome. So I think he's going to suggest to us a model of, as an American, but also Peruvian. He's going to suggest to us someone who's going to be humble, someone who's going to be willing to be patient with changes. But one of many changes is some reforms yet to take place inside the Vatican, particularly in the area of finance.
Brother Michael, I was so eager to get you to tell the story that you call him Bob, or did call him Bob, that I was remiss. I didn't ask how surprised you were, because, you know, all of the columnists have been telling us who the favorites were. His name didn't appear.
Well, actually, it did appear in a few places.
Oh,
the reason it did appear was because this is the guy who 2 years ago was appointed in the office that appoints future leaders for dioceses, so bishops. And so he was, and before 12 years, he served as the head of his religious congregation, Augustinians, so he traveled the world. Plus his many years of missionary experience in the country, he was also vice president of the Bishops' Conference in Peru. He was well known in Latin America as well.
He was seen kind of as a dark horse. His name started gaining some more traction the past couple of days. Lastly, if you could just talk about the significance of this, even for people who are not Catholic, because this is something the whole world was paying attention to. So people who might not even practice the religion, what does this mean for everyone? Well,
if you recall, when Pope Francis was elected, he came out and he showed the world that he was someone who was fighting for everyone, that everyone, he really took the position of the poorest, the people caught in wars and conflicts. He went to those places. People of other religious faith traditions, he went to them. He went to Iraq to meet with leaders. I think this Pope is going to be a little more studied and maybe as steady as he goes.
Conservative?
No, I wouldn't use the word conservative. No, I think because Pope Francis in the end was conservative. But I think his style will be, I talked to someone in Peru just before coming here. I called the Franciscans. I said, tell me something about him. They said he's got a missionary heart. He loves the poor. He will bring a face. He will try to keep those front and center as the church moves forward.
Brother Michael Perry from Siena College, thank you very much for telling us about who you know as Bob.
Thank you for spending time with us on this historic day.
Thank you very much.